Hey!
Look at this cool animation I made. I made my first animated short film a little while ago called The Race, which you should totally watch on my channel. And it was so good that I even got first place in the film expo that I submitted it to. Look at that. You know, I just wanted to make a video going over how I made it because I thought it might be cool. So first I started off with the... So obviously, you start with the idea for what you want your short film to be, and I knew I wanted to submit something to the film expo, so while I was in class, I was just thinking about whatever could be interesting to put in my short film. So I just sat in class, zoned out for like 10-20 minutes thinking about what could be interesting to put in my short film, and I don't know, we were probably doing something important in that class, and one of the first things I thought about was racing and over-the-top scenarios that could have happened in that like setting. I thought, what if a guy strapped a bunch of things to the front of his car to make it longer so that he could win every race that, you know, he entered in, but instead his extensions to his car trip on the ground, and he actually loses the race. And I thought that'd be pretty interesting, so then I started to like develop that idea and ask myself like why he would do this, and what if like there was another guy doing the same thing that he was trying to beat, or maybe another guy had an extremely long car that caused him to want to make extensions. And ultimately I decided the story was going to be that Racer 1 loses to Racer 2 because Racer 2 has an absurdly long car. So Racer 1 goes home and adds stuff to the front of his car to make it even more long. And, you know, like the absurdity of that. And I thought that was pretty cool, pretty silly. So when I got home, I just started drawing out the scenario. And as you can see here, there are drawings of the cars and other stuff that I thought would be funny to add. So there's like a stick, a refrigerator, a dog bone, and a shoe. Some other things that could be added on the front of the car. I think there's a microwave in there. And I also started to get an idea of what I wanted the characters to look like. Like, I wanted them to be similar and have sort of a similar feature to each other, but a feature that like stood out from basic character design, like basic stick figures. And I think I watched a video around that time talking about character design, and it was like, make sure your silhouette is identifiable. So that's where I got the idea of like the skinny body and the big head shaped like a racer helmet and the big nose that stuck out, because I thought that was a pretty funny silhouette. And I didn't want both of them to be too different in body shape from each other, because I just like them looking similar, but I wanted them to be different in some sort of minor way. So I just decided to have one be red and one be blue to differentiate them, to have them stand out from each other. And that was pretty much it for the planning and concept work. After that, I moved on to the... So for the storyboard, I just put different drawings on index cards, and I didn't really make any panels for them because I thought I'd fit more drawings on there without them. And the point of the stage was to get a sequence of events that would be the foundation of the story that made sense not only to me, but to the audience. And I like the way it turned out, which is good considering most, if not everything from the storyboard showed up in the final animation. So after I was done with the storyboard, I took pictures of the index cards and sent them to Premiere Pro for the Animatic. So for the Animatic, I just needed something simple, so I did some quick editing in Premiere Pro. I used the Animatic to bridge the gap between physical and digital mediums. And once I was done with all of that, I lightened the opacity of the Animatic so that I could utilize it in the... I think I like the rough animation stage the most because you don't have to worry about having clean lines or finished coloring or anything. So for the rough animation, I started out using Adobe Animate, but it got a lot of glitches and crashes, so I just moved on to Toon Squid on the iPad, which is a phenomenal app, by the way. So here... I just put more detail into the animations. There's more in between drawings. There's key poses, but no color or detailed backgrounds because there's really no point. The purpose of this stage was to highlight the major movements so that I could get a sense of what I wanted to improve upon and what I wanted in the final animation. Where's the transition? Well, since I have your time. And finally, the end. In this long journey, I realized maybe the real final animation was the friends we made along the way. Where the final animation probably took me the longest time. Like, I was up late at night trying to get the perfect lines and the right colors, knowing that I had school the next day. And I put the rough animation on a layer and then lightened the opacity so that I could partially see it and traced over some of the key moments. And I highlighted the rough animation. But, like, I don't think I've ever worked that fast and that, like, quick on such a large scale part of animation. And it wore me out, bruh. And then after I was done all that, I added the color, which didn't really take me as long as the line work. And finally came the sound. And this was probably the most stressed out I'd been up to this point because it was like an hour until the deadline at 12 a.m. for the film expo was up. And I had just realized that I forgot to add any sound effects, so it was just a silent film. And I don't think I've ever rushed harder to get something done in that moment. And after all that, I crawled up into the computer screen, pressed submit, and it was like 11:40 p.m. I sat down, I relaxed, and then nothing. I waited for the film expo results for 2 months. And I won! Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know if any of you have different workflows to make any kind of art, because I like learning about that stuff. And watch the short film here on my channel. And again, thanks for watching, and Jesus loves you.